ఇప్పుడు వస్తుంది చూడండి. చెక్. ఓకే. Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to daily current affairs session. So these are the articles, very few we have, the two very factual in nature. We can complete it as early possible. So these are the articles that we are going to cover today. First one, Ligdus garvale. It is a spider species which was recently discovered. So this can be part of environment. This is part of environment, right? And then again one more article from environment, that is mangroves. A new convention was signed, a new agreement was signed. We will see that as well related to mangroves. Then zero debris charter. So this is part of science and technology, space debris related thing, right? One more science and technology article, square kilometer array observatory. So it is an observatory of certain things. We will see that as well. Then integrated theater command. So this is part of defense, or we can say yes, defense as well as security you can talk about, right? Next is factual pointers and practice questions brief. So these are the articles that we are going to cover today. A very good evening, Santosh, welcome to the session. Very good evening, Malini and Oindala as well. So we will complete this a little bit early today because very short articles are too factual in nature. First one, Ligdus garvale. Recently, the naturalists from Kerala and Tamil Nadu and Karnataka who were roaming in that region, they have discovered a new spider species. So this seems to be a scorpion, but this actually is a spider species. So we will see that as well. And this is located near Kodagu district of Karnataka, right? Very popular tourist place in the Western Ghats in the region of Karnataka, right? Let's see some features as well. The name, they have named this as a Ligdus garvale, and garvale is a village. Garvale is a village in Kodagu district, so the village name itself they have given. So they may ask you in the exam, Ligdus garvale recently in news, what is that? It is a new spider species, right? And this special feature is jumping spider. This is a jumping spider rather than a what you call scrabble, right? So they usually spiders move very slowly, but this is a jumping spider, right? So that is one unique feature, and this was discovered after 129 years in this region. Ligdus was a what you call genus of certain species, and from this genus it was 129 years before we have discovered such spider, right? So this is also one important feature to be remembered, that it is a long period that we have discovered this, right? And the approximate size is, in terms of length, is 0.2 inches. So 1 inch, you all know, 2.5 centimeters. So it is a very small one, right? So very small spider was discovered, and it has 8 legs, 8 eyes and body which covered with the plain hair. So this is the features of it. No need to worry too much. The most popular 99% they will ask you in which region it was discovered or what is it, the species, the name. That's all. Very simple article. No need to worry about too much about all these things, but just to make you know that there is some speciality, I have added these points, right? I hope there is no doubt in this, very factual in nature. Next one, mangroves. Recently, first global mangrove assessment for the International Union for Conservation of Nature. You all know IUCN status has data deficit, near threatened, least concerned, near threatened. Then we have vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered, extinct invasive, and then complete extinction. So we have a status, right? But for mangroves, there was no assessment till date. Now they have added assessment for all the mangroves throughout the world. They have given certain status like least concern, near threat and something like that. They have given the assessment for the mangroves. That's why we have taken this article, right? Before knowing the assessment and all, let's know about the mangroves, right? So mangroves are those salt tolerant plants. That means usually if you talk about the normal plants, whenever there are salts in the soils, the roots or the stems cannot grow or sustain for longer periods. That is the non-requirement plants. Salts are not desirable for plants. But mangroves are special plants where they grow mostly in the salt regions. 99% of mangroves are present in the salt regions only. That is where the river or lakes meets into the ocean. So this is the ocean, for example, and wherever the rivers join, so in these regions they are mostly found. So they are salt loving plants, right? So that is one speciality, and they are having very strong roots, unlike if you see other roots which are usually bending and all, but these have a very strong roots. So wherever these mangroves grow, that coastal regions have a very good soil intact, right? It can even save from high tides, high waves, even tsunami. During tsunami times also, they save the coastal qualities or coastal people. So they have a very strong roots which can sustain larger wave force, right? That is also one important feature. And they are only found in the tropical and subtropical regions. That means if you talk about the earth, this is equator, this is tropical region and some subtropical region. So before temperate regions, 0 to 40 degrees latitude. So they sustain only in this region. The higher latitudes, that is in the polar regions, they don't grow because the coldness don't allow them to generate the roots, right? So this is one important thing. So even high water levels, all those things they can tolerate. And there are few more important features of the mangroves. They are self-resistant. That means no need to worry about taking care of them. Once you grow, they themselves can resist most of the external events. Also, they are heat tolerant. That means they can sustain higher temperatures. That's why they are remaining in the tropical regions, right? That is also one important feature. Fine, this also we have seen. And some specialty is that they have special roots called as pneumatophores or breathing roots, which can collect oxygen. Usually if you see the plant, usually the normal plant, if you see, the roots collect the oxygen very minimum from the soil. So that's why they directly consume nitrogen, whatever the nutrients in the soil. But as these roots are growing above the water, they are not, see, if you, most of the times you cannot see the roots of the plants wherever you go. Very rarely you will see, except banyan tree and all. But in case of mangroves, the plants, the roots are such a high quality that they are residing over the water and they can directly collect the oxygen from the atmosphere. So these are called as pneumatophores. This is a specific feature of mangroves where the roots can absorb oxygen from the atmosphere, right? So that is one important feature. Also, they are having viviparity mode of reproduction. That means in oviparity, the seeds germinate after falling, right? After falling onto the soil, once the seeds are sown on the soil, then only they will germinate, right? Then only they can grow because of soil nutrients and all. They cannot, the seeds are usually not grown or germinate, right? They don't develop any roots or germinate whenever they are part of plant. But these are viviparous. That means opposite to oviparous, where they germinate within the plant itself. Whenever the seed is attached to the mangrove itself, the mangrove plant itself, they germinate and they grow. And once they fall, it grows much faster way. So this is one important quality, because if seeds are fallen and then germination takes place, the ocean water may swipe them off. So that's why they germinate within the plant itself. They germinate the small roots and all. Once they fall, and then they attach to the soil and they can grow, right? So this is called as viviparity mode of reproduction, a very important feature of mangroves. Now we also need to know about the mangrove details from our forest reports, right? Those certain facts are very important. We have Indian State of Forest Report 2021. The recent one was not released yet because of various reasons. Usually for every 2 years they releases, but we don't have any report in 2023. So we are following in 2021 report itself. Yes, maybe after election, after formation of new government, there may be a report, right? But as of now, we have a report of 2021 only. In that, I am not discussing the whole report. It takes a lot of time, but I am discussing only the mangroves related data extracted from that particular report, right? So in India, the total mangrove cover is spreading approximately 5,000 square kilometers, the area in which mangroves are located. It constitutes 0.15% of total geographical area. This fact has already been asked in the exam, right? The total mangrove cover is in terms of area, in terms of percentage of land that they occupy. Fine. On the top 5 states with the most mangrove, highest in West Bengal, which is very popular, Sundarbans are the popular for mangrove forest. So West Bengal occupies the highest, followed by Gujarat, and then Andaman Nicobar, Andhra Pradesh. So at least top 3 you can remember. If they ask you, you can answer, right? West Bengal, Gujarat and Andaman Nicobar. And most popular mangroves are located throughout the coast of India. Can anyone tell where the coral reefs are located? We have discussed many times. In specific regions only they grow. Gulf of Kambat, right? And then Malwan coast, and we have Lakshadweep, we have Andaman Nicobar, and we have Gulf of Mannar. Only in this region we have a coral reefs. But mangroves grow in almost all the coast. Almost all the coast these mangroves grow. You can see, like when I was in college in NIT Surathkal, there is a huge amount of mangroves we can see in the Mangalore region, right? So every time we go for some research, our faculty used to take, so we see very fascinately about the mangroves, very huge plantation I can see in Karnataka. So everywhere it is found, but the most popular ones were certain parts of Gujarat, Ratnagiri mangroves, Goa mangroves as well, Kaveri Delta mangroves, Krishna Godavari, Mahanadi, and then Sundarban mangroves. So these are all the classification, the most popular regions of the mangroves in India, right? Now, what is the key findings from the report? Recently, assessment has been done, right? Mangroves distribution. It was found that 50% of mangrove ecosystems, 50% of mangrove ecosystems were risk of collapsing. In the next few years, they may be affected if we don't take any measures, right? So out of the total mangroves in the world, 50% are in extinction risk. So very dangerous situation we are in. And that threats, most of the threats were because of climate change, that is rise in temperatures or altering the environment, deforestation, developmental pollution. Even these mangroves are widely used for wood purposes and then local cooking purposes and all. So we were destructing them, we are destructing the mangrove cover. So it will lead to the catastrophic effect on the coastal landscapes, right? So climate change alone is contributing for the 33% of mangrove degradation, right? So this is what the report has said. Now they have assessed, the world mangroves we are not talking about, the status, because that is not relevant. It is a very big document and you need to extract a lot. That is also not relevant for us, the world mangroves. But for us, India, it is important. So the categorization, Andaman and Bay of Bengal mangroves, whatever the mangroves that are located in the Andaman Nicobar as well as this Bay of Bengal region, they are least concerned. That means they are in a safe position. So we are in safe position in the Bay of Bengal and Andaman Nicobar region. In South India region, they are critically endangered. That means this Kaveri Delta and some Krishna Godavari mangroves. So this part, they are in dangerous condition, right? So, and then West India, they are vulnerable. In the western part of India, they are again got the vulnerable status. Try to remember, in the South India, they are critically endangered. In the West India, they are vulnerable. And in the other parts, it is a least concern. So this is what the status has been given for the mangrove ecosystems. Yes, they are found in the tropical regions only, right? They are not found in the temperate regions. Correct, Malini? Any doubts in this? Mangroves, any doubts? So we have seen what are mangroves, where they are located, what is their speciality, what are their qualities we have seen, and then what reports has said also we have seen, right? And the IF, Indian State of Forest report date also we have seen, right? Any doubts in this? I hope it is clear because it is mostly of factual in nature. Fine? Okay. Let's move to the next article, that is Zero Debris Charter. Zero Debris Charter. Recently, 12 countries along with the European Space Agency. Recently, 12 countries along with the European Space Agency have signed an agreement, Zero Debris Charter. So they will ask you this, Zero Debris Charter was launched by which organization? So it is European Space Agency with the support of other 12 countries, right? So before knowing this charter, what actually is a space debris? We launch a lot of satellites, we have launched a lot of rockets, and certain part like fourth stage of rocket also reached to the space. In this, we have a lot of debris. These are all unwanted ones. Whenever we have launched, it will have certain time span, like 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. But after that, it becomes redundant. So it is not giving any data, but still remains in the space. So all those unwanted material in the space, in terms of satellites, rockets or other components, those are called as the space debris, right? So those are called as space debris, and these objects remain in various orbits, still rotating. So these are very dangerous in launching the satellite. So these debris, if have effect, so this is also called as Kessler syndrome. Anyone have this idea? Kessler syndrome. This may be asked in the exam. Kessler syndrome. It is a situation where one particle of debris collide with other one, and then it has a multiplier effect. All those satellites will also be collapsed. So we won't be able to get data. So if this debris gets increasing in the coming years, so we will have a situation where the satellites will not work. Our internet penetration may also struggle, right, because of lack of communication. So these are the space debris. Now, what is this zero debris charter? This is like an agreement between these 12 countries. You can see here, India is not part, okay? India is not part of this. India is not part, right? These 12 countries have signed along with European Space Agency, where they want to achieve zero debris goal. That means by 2030, we should not see any debris in the space. That is what the objective of this zero debris charter, right? So this is the space debris as well as zero debris charter. Now, India has also taken one initiative which was under Project Netra, Network for Space Object Tracking and Analysis. Project Netra. This was launched by ISRO for recognizing the space debris in the space. Like whatever the debris that is located in the space, it has to be recognized. Even micro one, even 10 centimeters, like very small debris also it can capture up to 3,400 kilometers range from Earth's surface. So from Earth's surface, whatever the debris that is located within 3,400 kilometers up to 10 centimeters, this can be recognized and we can launch satellite again to take those debris. How we can do this? We have launched a lot of telescopes, lot of radars in the Leh region, Ladakh region as well as Bengaluru region, and some satellites were also being placed in the space so that to observe. First thing is to identify where they are located and which all debris we need to clean up. Then we will launch the missions, whatever the satellites required to clean those debris. So this is the approach. So ISRO has launched a telescope in the Leh and then radar in Northeast India to observe. These telescopes have high amount of accuracy to recognize the debris. So very micro level you can see, and it will report the presence of debris, right? And also we have deployed multi-object tracking radar in Satish Dhawan Space Center. So we have a Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. There also we have launched multi-object tracking radar where it will identify the debris in the space and then it report to remove, right? So this is about the Project Netra. Any doubt in this? Again, very factual in nature, just to understand the issue and then remember the facts, right? Next article, Square Kilometer Array Observatory. Square Kilometer Array Observatory. So the context is Square Kilometer Array Observatory, MPI, SCUMP. So it is a prototype, a new telescope was added, and this new telescope was able to collect the light from the space, identify the light from the space, and they have generated the pictures for the first time. So this is SCUMP is a new telescope added into the group of telescopes, and it was identifying the images. So that is the context. Now, what is this Square Kilometer Array Observatory? This is an observatory with a lot of telescopes. It is not just single telescope. Lot of telescopes are placed in different regions, especially in UK, South Africa, Australia. So these three countries, UK, South Africa and then Australia, these three places were identified the best ones to observe the galaxies and throughout all the space, whatever, like anything related to space, when stars was formed, how it is moving, is there any meteoroids, and what type of planets there are changes. So anything related to the universe, there are a group of telescopes has been generated in these three countries, and of course India is also part of in terms of support. Even though we don't have any telescope in India related to this project, we are supporting it. So these three countries have a group of telescope distributed, and they can identify the space related events, even gravitational waves, like black holes, everything related to the space is observed, and those data is statistically put in the computer and we can know what actually when they have formed. So there is a lot of software also involved, right? So it is an intergovernmental organization which aims to build a group of telescopes to observe the universe in a much better way, right? And it is headquartered at Jondal Bank Observatory, United Kingdom. So headquarters is located in United Kingdom, right? So the project is not having single telescope, rather a bulk of telescopes are placed in different regions. That is South Africa, Australia and UK, right? Now what is the objective? As I said, they want to observe everything related to the space like galaxies, constellations and all, and gravitational waves are also part of it. Gravitational waves are those waves that are generated in space because of some space event. Even collision of two objects may lead to the formation of waves. So gravitational waves are any waves that are generated in the space because of some activity in the space. Those are also important for us because that will lead us to find out the origin of universe as well, right? So this is the objective, fine. Now yes, other 10 countries are these things, and India is also part of. India, China is also part of this initiative, right? So these are all the countries. That is about the square kilometer array project. Any doubts in this? So last article now for today, integrated theater commands. Integrated theater commands. The context is, in Indian Express they have given, Indian armed forces are about or they are ready to launch the integrated theater commands. So what is the branch of Indian Defence Forces? Like what are there? Anyone who are preparing for defense exams? What are all defense forces? Military, that is land, right? So it is direct only, but just making you to connect to the theater commands. Military, Air Force, then Navy. So these forces fight in through aircrafts, air, this through land, and Navy through water. So now in the current situation, India have a different commands, like military is taken care by separate command, and then Air Force by separate command, Navy by separate command. So whenever there is necessary of coordination, we are not able to coordinate properly. Like this was seen even in the India-Chinese war, India-Pakistan war in 1965 as well as 71. So no proper coordination because this was seen as a silos. The military people who are working in land, they don't have knowledge about the Air Force, how it works, how to coordinate. The people who are working in Air Force, they don't have any knowledge how to coordinate, how to do certain things in the water. So because of this silos, the differentiation, we were not able to coordinate properly. That's why now Indian government, with the help of the other like defense forces, they are able to train certain forces, certain commands. That is the theater command, where the people in military will be knowing about the Air Force, how it works, what to be done, and the people in Air Force, they will know about the Navy, and Navy people will also know about military Air Force. So each and everything, they will have a basic knowledge. Not all the forces will have idea. We will have certain people pooled, and they will be trained with which can coordinate during all these three things. Whenever war is there, so three forces together they can work, and so it helps in defeating the enemy in a much faster way, right? So this is the integrated theater command. So we have seen by integrating all these three forces, we can enhance the coordination and winnability of the country against the war, whatever enemy, right? So that is the integrated theater command, and this was first mooted by Indian government in 2019. It was tried to implement in 2019, and that's why they have established a new post, Chief of Defence Forces. We have commandant, the highest force for Indian Air Force military separately. They 3 persons are there who are heading these three forces. But in 2019, we have created, after Bipin Rawat ji retirement from military, so he was given with the Chief of Defence Staff to coordinate with all the three forces, right? So that is why this was initiated, and Department of Military Affairs also created under Ministry of Defence, right, to implement this. But it is not yet implemented. It is about to implement. Maybe in this year itself they are going to implement this, right? So why we need this? As I said, rationalizing manpower and resources. So we need to give separate resources for military, army, navy. So all these things differently we need to tackle. So if a person can be able to trained with having knowledge of all these three forces, we will be able to do much better way, and we can save a lot of manpower as well, right? So that is one reason. Streamlining command structure. So as I said, better coordination will happen if the forces have some common knowledge. And unique structure, this structure of this integrated commands are there in China, US and many other countries, and they were able to succeed. So now this will also this will give the unique place for India as well to tackle the upcoming challenges, and international stature also will be grown. So this is about the integrated theater commands. Any doubts in this? Very short articles for today. Fine. So let's see. If you have any doubts, do let me know about integrated theater commands. Let's move to the factual pointers. There are two factual pointers which are relevant for us in our examination. First one, electric vertical takeoff landing, eVTOL. eVTOL. So this is the aircraft. This has been recently launched in the Bengaluru, right? So IIT Madras incubated E-plane company. So IIT Madras has supported one company, that is E-plane company, and they have developed electric vehicle takeoff and landing, eVTOL aircraft. And what is the speciality? The speciality is they can vertically land and vertically take off. Now usually the aircrafts need lot of land, right? So they have to take slope and then they have to take land. So we need a lot of land for it. But now this will vertically take off, or get down, as well as they take off vertically. So it can save the land. In urban areas, we are not able to generate lot of airports, lot of other projects also, because we have lack of land. That's why this was recently developed, a small one only. But in future, we may see the aircrafts which may take the vertical takeoff as well as the get down, right? So this is about the electric vehicle takeoff and landing test. Next article, Telangana government has recently given report to National Green Tribunal. We have seen National Green Tribunal, I think yesterday only, or day before yesterday. So it is a tribunal-like thing which deals with the environment. So Telangana government has said that Mrugavani National Park, the area has been decreased in the paper. So they were, some discrepancy was reported that our national park area has decreased in the decreased on the paper. So something has happened. So this was reported to National Green Tribunal by the Telangana government. Fine. So this is of all today's session, a very short one. Let's now see some practice questions before ending the session, right? I hope you are ready to solve the questions from the topics whatever we have discussed. First question, consider the following statements with respect to mangrove forest. This was taken from previous question of UPSC CAPF. UPSC CAPF. Mangrove forest only grow at the tropical and subtropical latitudes near the equator because they cannot withstand the freezing temperatures. So that is the first statement. It helps in reducing soil erosion. So mangroves helps in reducing soil erosion, they are saying. Second statement. Anthropogenic means man-made activities are one of the reasons for declining mangrove system in India or in the world. So what is the answer for this? Yes, first statement is correct, isn't it? Because they grow in the tropical and subtropical only, right? And it helps in reducing soil erosion, yes, because they have a very strong roots which can adhere the soil together, right? So second statement is also correct. Anthropogenic activities are one of the reasons. Yes, man-made reasons are one of the reasons which are making the decline, like destruction of mangroves. So third statement is also correct. Very easy question they have asked in that year, that is D. Yes, Sahana, Malini and Ranjan has answered it as correct. Alright. So third reason also correct, Keshav. Next one. The project Netra is often seen in news is related to which of the following? Early warning system in the space to detect debris, Earth observation satellite constellation system, early warning system of tsunamis, low altitude defense systems. Yes, Vandila correct. D is correct for previous question. So what is the answer? It is not any defense system we have seen, or not tsunami related thing. So the answer is to detect the space debris. So that is the reason. Yes, yes. Malini, Oindila, Santosh, Ranjan, everyone have answered it as correct. So you have to remember. Next question. With reference to integrated theater command, which of the following statements are correct? Right? Yes, Sahana, you are correct. A. Integrated theater commands. So let's see. Yes, Keshav, correct. So let's see the statement. A theater command is a military structure wherein all the assets of Army, Air Force and Navy in particular theater of war are under operational control of the 3-star general. So this may be new to us. So it is saying that the all 3 forces will be under single person with the at least 3-star general. So that is the first statement. These unified combat commands are organized either on geographical basis or on functional basis. Geography means wherever, like India, China border, India, Pakistan border, or functional means whatever, if there is any purpose for like security in the oceans. So any particular purpose or geographical, we can constitute this integrated commands they are saying. So what is the answer? Anyone? Second statement though is correct. It can be generated in any of the reason, basis, geography or functional. First one is also correct. It is of all 3 integrated and then it can be controlled by a at least 3-star general. So this may be a little bit factual, but yes, answer is C. Both 1 and 2. Malini, Sahana has answered it as correct. Right. Next question. Mrugavani National Park is located in Karnataka, Odisha, Telangana, Maharashtra. So what is the answer for this? We have seen this, right? So very direct. Recently Telangana government has reported that the area has been reduced of this national park on the paper. So this is located in the Telangana state. Yes, Sahana, Ranjan, Santosh, Oindila, Malini has answered it as correct. Fine. So this is all for today's session, a very short one fortunately, because lot of political news. Maybe after June 4th or maybe after some days in June we will have a lot of current affairs like earlier, because the government will meet, cabinet will meet and lot of decision will come, right? So that is all for today's session. Have a great evening. Thank you.